Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana-Sindhandhasya Jnananjana-Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sangrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Anvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Panchakalpatarabhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopiyesi Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhansute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhirayet Nishtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavataktamashloke Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay. Let me know if you can hear me well.
Yes, we can hear you. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So today, Swapna, Mataji, if you'd like to read this chapter till maybe verse number 24. Let me know if you can hear us.
Prabhuji, you are asking me?
I'm asking Swapna.
Okay, okay.
Like we rotate the reciters. Then we move to Shakti Priya.
Hari Om Guruji.
Yeah, is it Swapna?
Yes, I am Swapna.
Okay. Would you like to read the text that you see on the screen from verse number 1 to 24? Only the English translations.
One moment. Text 1 to text 1 I'm able to see.
You're able to see. So before you start, maybe you can recite 3 times Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and then you can read through the text till 24. Okay?
Yes. One moment, Guruji.
Mm-hmm. Fine.
Suklambaradram Vishnu Prasanna Vadantayate Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhar Me Sada Smriti Sakti Jnana Sakti Buddha Sakti Swarupni Pratibha Kalpana Sakti Naipunni Namo Namaha Smriti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhakti Lokasankaram. Can I recite Shatpadi Stotram, Guruji? Can we? Once before starting?
You are muted, Prabhuji.
Maybe shall we proceed to reading these verses? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, thank
Om
you.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Sutta Goswami, continuing to speak to all the races headed by Sunaka, said, after hearing Maitreya Rishi describe Dhruva Mahārāja Asian to Lord Vishnu's abode, Vidura became very much enlightened in devotional emotion, and he inquired from Maitreya as follows. Vidura inquired from Maitreya, O greatly advanced devotee, who were the Prasitas, to which family did they belong? Whose sons were they, and where did they perform the great sacrifices? Vidura continued, I know that the great sage Narada is the greatest of all devotees. He has compiled the Pancha Panchasika procedure of devotional service.
Your voice is difficult to follow. Maybe you can get closer to the screen or to the phone mic.
Yes, I think my mic is problem. One moment.
Now I can hear clear.
Okay. Devotional service and has directly met the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is it clear, Guruji, now?
Yeah.
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 While all the Prasitas were executing religious rituals and sacrificial ceremonies and thus worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his satisfaction, the great sage Narada described the transcendental qualities of Dhruva Mahārāja. Transcendental qualities. My dear Brahmana, how did Narada Muni glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and what pastimes were described in that meeting? I am very eager to hear of them. Kindly explain fully about the glorification of the Lord. The great sage Maitreya replied, my dear Vidura, when Maharaja Dhruva departed for the forest, his son Utkala did not desire to accept the opulent throne of his father, which was meant for the ruler of all the lands of this planet. From his very birth, Utkala was fully satisfied and unattached to the world. He was equipoised for he could see everything resting in the super soul and the super soul present in everyone's heart. By expansion of his knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, he had already attained liberation from the bondage of the body. This liberation is known as nirvana. He was situated in transcendental bliss, and he continued always in the bliss existence, which expanded more and more. This was possible for him by the real practice of Bhakti Yoga, which is compared to fire because it burns away all the material things. He was always situated in his constitutional position of self-realization, and he could not see anything else but the Supreme Lord, and himself engaged in discharging devotional service. Utkala appeared to the less intelligent persons. Utkala appeared to the less intelligent persons on the road to be foolish, blind, dumb, deaf, and mad, although actually he was not so. He remained like fire covered with ashes without blazing flames. For this reason, the ministers and all the elderly members of the family thought Utkala to be without intelligence and in fact mad. Thus, his younger brother named Vatsara, the son of Brahmani, was elevated to the royal throne and he became king of the world. King Vatsara had a very dear wife whose name was Swarvithi. Swarvit, and she gave birth to 6 sons named Pushparana, Tigmaketu, Isra, Urja, Vasu, and Jaya. Pushparana and 2 wives named Prabha and Dosha, Prabha, and 3 sons named Pratar, Madhyandinam, and Sayam. Am I reading it correct, Guruji? It is.
Yeah, I think first time you're reading, so these are a little tricky with the annotations that are there, but you just read because anyway we'll summarize later. I'll go through them again. But thank you. And if you can get closer to the mic as much as possible, then we can hear.
Yes. I'm so sorry for that. Dosha
No,
and
no.
3 Pradosha, Nisita, and Yusta. Yusta's wife was named Pushkarni, and she gave birth to very powerful son named Sarvateja. That's it, Guruji. The next one. Sarvateja's wife Akuti gave birth to a son named Kausuka, who became the 6th Manu at the end of Manu millennium. Nadvula, the wife of Chuksha Manu, gave birth to the following faultless sons: Puru, Kutsa, Trita, Dyumna, Satyavan, Rita, Vrita, Agnistoma, Atiratra, Pradyumna, Subhi, and Ulmuka. Of the 12 sons, Ulmuka got 6 sons in his wife Puskarini. They were all very good sons, and their names were Anga, Kumana, Kyati, Prautu, Angira, and Gaya. The wife of Anga, Sunita, gave birth to a son named Vena, who was very crude. The saintly king Anga was very disappointed with Vena's bad character, and he left home and kingdom and went out to the forest. My dear Vidura, when great sages curse, their words are invincible as a thunderbolt. Thus, when they cursed King Vena out of anger, he died. After his death, since there was no king, all the rogues and thieves flourished. The kingdom became unregulated, and all the citizens suffered greatly. On seeing this, the great sages took the right hand of Vena as the churning rod. And as a result of their churning, Lord Vishnu in his partial representation made his advent as King Prathu, the original emperor of the world. Vidura inquired from the sage Maitreya, my dear Brahmana, King Anga was very gentle, had his character, and was a saintly personality and lover of Brahminical culture. How is it that such a great soul got a bad son like Vena, because of whom he became indifferent to his kingdom and left it? Vidura also inquired, how is it that the great sages who were completely conversant with religious principles, desired to curse King Vena, who himself carried the rod of punishment and thus awarded him the greatest punishment, Brahmana Sapa. It is the duty of all citizens in a state never to insult the king, even though he sometimes appears to have done something very sinful. Because of his prowess, the king is always more influential than all other ruling chiefs. Vidura requested Maitreya, "My dear Brahmana, you are well conversant with all subjects, both parts. Therefore, I wish to hear from all the activities of King Vena. I am your faithful devotee, so please explain this."
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you for the opportunity.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, how did you find reading this morning?
It was really a great blessing, Guruji.
Yeah, very nice. Any special remembrances that came when you were reading this?
I mean, a glimpse of Vidura in Bhagavatam.
Mhm. Very
Mm.
nice.
Dhruva, his bhakti and his tapas. So I could just get a glimpse of Dhruva's bhakti and his tapas,
Mhm.
and Vidura's dharma. Dharma. I mean, he used to always say about dharma.
Yeah, correct. Dharma.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for reading. And first of all, yeah, thanks for joining also.
Thank you.
What we do as part of this is we open up with first reading. One of the participants reads through the translations.
Okay.
And then we will try to understand a little further, spend some time through the Bhaktivedanta commentaries that are given for these verses, through which we can really understand the gist of these Bhagavatam. I think
Okay.
I see that you are familiar with the Bhagavatam and also the glories of it. I can say that the purpose, one of the verses is also covering the main purpose of Bhagavatam. When that comes, we will discuss further. Yeah.
Guruji, sure.
Om Namo Bhagav. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm not used to read this English, script. Always read in my mother tongue, so
Mhm.
couldn't read properly the names. I'm so sorry
No
for it.
worry. No problem at all.
Thank you, sir.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So here we see we are coming across this chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 4, which is describing the descendants of Dhruva Mahārāja. We took around 3 months to go through the details of Dhruva Mahārāja pastimes that are narrated by Maitreya Rishi to Vidura, where we understand that anyone can attain the topmost level of success, and the topmost level is actually bhakti. We may take any ways, any routes or paths, but ultimately the topmost is said to be bhakti, and bhakti yoga is the topmost. And we see how Dhruva Maharaj has attained that topmost, that even the Lord has given him a special post or kind of special position, which not even his father or grandfather or great grandfather has attained. So in that way, we see the greatness of Bhakti Yoga. And it's also that though the boy age was 5-6 years, but within 6 months, yeah, he was very determined because of innate quality of a Kshatriya, to be determined, to not just kind of compromise, not to just take okay, softer or easier compromised approach. Dhruva Maharaj, with determination for 6 months, he has done rigorous penance, austerities, which pleased the Lord and he blessed him. That's what we discussed until last week, and now we continue. And Sutta Goswami is speaking, and this is a conversation. We know that Suta Goswami is speaking to Saunakadi rishis, where Suta Goswami is narrating what Maitreya Rishi is telling to Vidura. So this is a reference of the samvad that happened between Maitreya Rishi and Vidura, which is narrated by Suta Goswami to Saunakadi rishis. And Suta Goswami was present when Bhagavatam was recited by Sukadeva Goswami when he heard it from Narada Muni. So in that way we see that there is quote unquote in that way we come to this where we see that Suta Goswami is narrating Bhagavatam to Saunakadi rishis, where he brought up this samvad between Maitreya and Vidura. So Vidura is asking a question. He's asking about who were Prachetas, and to which family did they belong, whose sons were they, and where did they perform the great sacrifices. This question is coming because when Maitreya Rishi was narrating the glorious departure of Dhruva Mahārāja to Dhruva Loka, the transcendental planet, and in that context, Narada Muni, after he was glorifying, he left to the sacrifice of Prachetas, and there he was narrating all the glories of Dhruva Mahārāja. So when Vidura heard this, so now he's continuing after Dhruva Mahārāja passed, he's asking, okay, you were telling about some Prachetas, who are they, to whose family they belong. In that way, Vidura is asking, and let's get it. Yeah. So the next one. So Manye Mahābhāgavatam Naradam Devadarshanam Yena Proktam Kriya Yoga Paricharya Vidhir Hare. So that's further question is, yeah, I am very eager, and this is very important. I am very eager is a very nice qualification or a quality of a devotee. A bhakta should be ever eager. He should never think that I know everything. The moment he thinks I know everything, then even whatever that little he knows goes into waste, because the Lord understands that he is infected by ego. And this false ego is so dangerous that it will not bring us advancement, but only can throw us for a downfall. So I know that the great sage Narada is the greatest of all devotees. He has compiled Pancharatrika Vidhi of devotional service and has directly met the Supreme Lord. So in this way we see the glories of Narada Muni. Usually we see, at least I have seen movies in the past or some episodes where we see that Narad Muni is one nice character, where we see that, oh, he's entertaining, he's talking, he's very chatur, very smart, and sometimes he incur problems to the persons by invoking some dispute between two parties. All these things appears like, okay, he is not such a serious or a grave person or a personality, but we understand that the more when we appreciate devotion, appreciate Bhakti Marg, then we understand his glories further, because he is not just any a kind of a devotee who is having his veena and he is singing in all the three worlds, but has compiled the Pancharatrika Vidhi, how to perform worship to the Lord. This is all. There are two vidhis, if you can see here. One is Bhagavat Marg and another one is Pancharatrik Vidhi. One is called Bhagavat Marg, or the way of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, where what we are doing right now is reading through the different pastimes of the Lord and his devotees, which is reading through Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So if one takes very seriously only Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, then also one's life is successful. We don't have to go through all other ways and means to really, oh no, I need to do prayaschitta, I need to do that, I need to do this, so many things, worship so many gods. No, if we take up to the principle of understanding Śrīmad Bhagavatam, that itself will give us perfection. We don't have to, because in the beginning already, Veda Vyas is saying, what is this? This is not an ordinary compilation. This is when Veda Vyas himself was lost after writing all the Vedas. He was lost. Okay, why I'm not so satisfied? Why I'm not so pleased? Then the Lord appeared and said, did you write? Narada Muni appeared and said, did you write the pastimes, leelas of the Lord and his devotees. When Vedavyas was said, then he started compiling all this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and then he attained peace. So this is the essence of Vedanta, not even Vedas, the essence of the Vedanta Sutras that can be very easily sublimely understood through Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That's why there is one path that if one just hears every day, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, by reading and hearing and chanting, understanding Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, one becomes a Bhagavat. Bhagavat is one who recites Bhagavat. This is one version. One who is absorbed in remembering the Lord. This is other understanding. And there are two kinds of Bhagavat. One is book Bhagavatam. Yeah, the book, just by reading page by page, day by day, one can become what? Person Bhagavata. Person Bhagavata means a person who is living the life of on the lines of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. This is one way. And the other way is Pancharatrika Vidhi. Pancharatrika Vidhi is how to worship the Lord in Archa Vigraha form. So when the Lord is, what do we call this? Prana Pratishtha. So to establish the Lord in a temple. What is the right word? I'm not getting in English. Yeah. So when one inaugurates the worship of the Lord in a temple, the worship is done through different kinds of kainkarias, different kinds of aratis. There are Shodasha, Upasharas, 16 ways of worshipping. Everything. Where is this coming? This is coming from Pancharatrika Vidhi that is inaugurated by Narada Muni. So this is Bhagavat Vidhi means 9 processes: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakhyam, Atmani Vedanam. So 9 ways that is coming under Bhagavat Vidhi. And Pancharatrik Vidhi, as mentioned, within that Archana Vidhi, how to perform this is explained. Krishna consciousness movement acts at both processes simultaneously and thus enables one to make steady progress on the path of realization. This Pancharatric procedure was first introduced by great sage Narada, as referred to here by Vidura. So we understand the glories of Narada. And here we also see that Swadharma Shilai Purushai Bhagwan Yajna Purusha Ijyamano Bhaktimata Naraden Nerita Kila. Akhila. So here indeed is while all the prachetas were executing religious rituals and sacrifice ceremonies and thus worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narada described what? The transcendental qualities of Dhruva Maharaj. After going there, he didn't discuss about how a Ritvik should be. How a Ritvik means one who is always busy with yajnas, how to have this fire ceremonies and how to arrange what things are required, what mantras to be recited. He didn't speak all these things, though he himself has introduced Pancharatri. When he was there, what was the subject matter? It was to share the glories of Dhruva Maharaj and his success. That is the topic. Why? Because Narada Muni is spiritual master of Guru of Dhruva Maharaj. So he was so much extremely pleased by his disciples' achievement that he felt this is the perfection, and that's what he also want to spread all over. So we see Narad Muni is always glorifying the pastimes of the Lord. In this verse, we see that not only does he glorify Lord, but he also likes to glorify the devotees of the Lord. This is also very important. We know anyway the Lord is supreme. We know that Lord is all merciful. We know that Lord is all supreme controller. And it's genuinely we may feel okay, I am subordinate and worshipping and glorifying the greatness of Lord is unlimited and I can continue to do that. But here we see great devotees, what they see is they see how glorious are his devotees, the Lord's devotees, and they kind of engage themselves in glorification. Why? Because that way they appreciate the Lord and the Lord is also pleased. For this purpose he has compiled Narada Pancharatrika Vidhi. Here we see why Narada Muni has prepared this Narada Pancharatra Vidhi is to broadcast the devotional service of the Lord. It's not to show off. It is actually for a purpose that everyone appreciates bhakti as the topmost. So that devotees can always take information about how to execute devotional service. It is not like our own choice, like, okay, I will apply kumkum, or I will break coconut, or I will offer flower. There is also a procedure how we should, just like when we invite a chief guest to our house, there is a way. We don't just choose and pick whatever is convenient for us, but we follow a standard so that everyone appreciates a common procedure, so that everyone can relate and understand what is going on. And there is a way, like, okay, when great people come to our home, okay, we offer them flowers, we welcome them inside. After welcoming them inside, we just um, wash their feet. After washing their feet, we give them some drink. So all this procedure, yeah, of course, there is also a description thoroughly given how to in the 16 ways of worshipping the Lord. So all these things are there, offering bhoga, prasadam, yeah, and chamar and everything, incense sticks and deepa, dhupa, all these things. So in Pancharatra, it is very clearly described how each of the social orders can please the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Sve Sve Karmani Abhirata Samsiddhim Labhate Nara. So these people, humans, how can they benefit? By performing Karmani, which is what? Sve Sve, as per their prescribed duties. So the prescribed duties are the means through which one can advance in devotion. So these are not independent, but not by overtaking or overcrossing or say taking over someone else's service. So, and then in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also, Svanistishya tasya dharmasya samsiddhir hari toshanam. The perfection of duty is to see that by discharging one's specific duties, one satisfies the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. When the Prachetas were performing sacrifice according to this direction, Narad Muni was satisfied to see these activities, and he also wanted to glorify Dhruva Maharaj in that sacrificial arena. So this is coming because of, as I referred in the last chapter, Maitreya Rishi was telling after instructing Narad, after instructing Dhruva Maharaj, Narad Muni left to Pracheta's sacrificial arena. So now the question now comes from here is very important. Yasta Devarshina Tatra Varnita Bhagavad Katha. This is very much. Mahyam Sushrusave Brahman. We see Kartsneya Achastum Arhasi. This means that I'm very eager to hear of them. What is that description of the glories of the Lord? Kindly explain fully about the glorification of the Lord. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the record of Bhagavad Katha, topics about the pastimes of the Lord. What Vidura was anxious to hear from Maitreya, we can also hear 5,000 years later, provided we are very eager. This quality is very, very important. This quality, Sushrusave, is very eager to hear. And from here, Maitreya Rishi continues to describe the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. Let me go to this verse. Yeah. Very interesting. We see that Dhruvasya Choktala Putra. So we see that after Dhruva left, his son Utkala did not accept the opulent throne of his father. Usually in today's world, we see that the father wants his son to take over his business or take over his position, because he understands how comfortable it is. He understands that the same comfort can be given. Why should my son work hard? He can already take over the throne. And here Utkala, and also sons are also ever eager when the father retires. There is no hope until he retires that I can do whatever I want. I can enjoy the benefits of the throne. So Sometimes we see some conspiracies of even killing the father, the king, so that he can take over the role faster. What do we call this? If hook or crook, if it works, works. Otherwise, just push him out. But here we see Utkala is of a different character. We see Utkala, son of Dhruva Maharaj, from initial stage itself, he had no taste for all these things. That's what is described in the next verses 7 to 9. From the very Janmana, from the beginning, what he had is that was fully satisfied and unattached to the world. Our struggle in this world is coming because we are not satisfied. We may think for some time I'm satisfied because, okay, after all, I have been running, and nothing has been coming as I wanted. Okay, I think this is the life. Let me accept it. Let me accept this. And I think last Sunday we were discussing Ram Raghav Prabhu about the bar. We set the bar low so that we feel that I have achieved everything. What is really possible. Rather, if the bar is too high for us to reach, then it's very difficult and we don't be satisfied. At least to be satisfied, what we do is we will not raise the bar, we will actually bring it down. But the real approach is we should not raise or lower the bar, but we should raise ourselves above the bar. And for that, what do we need? We need qualities. What kind of qualities? Devotional qualities. What are they? Fully satisfied itself is a quality. It's not by doing something we will get. It is actually innate, if possible. How? He was unattached to the world. That I want that, I want this. No, he was having no, because he understands the reality of this world is temporary and it can only give temporary happiness. But is there a good alternative? Yes, because he understands, because his father is a great devotee. He understands bhakti is the ultimate. All remaining is temporary. And he was equipoised, for he could see everything resting in the super soul and super soul present in everyone's heart. So this is what we see. The symptoms and characteristics of Utkala, the son of Mahārāja Dhruva, are those of Mahā-Bhāgavata. So, which means Utkala is already a great devotee. He has stated in Bhagavad Gita, Yomam Pasyati Sarvatra Sarvam Cha Mai Pasyati. A highly advanced devotee sees the Supreme Lord everywhere. This is what is the vision of Utkala. Utkala was seeing that the Lord is present in everyone and everyone is present in the Lord. So that is the understanding. And he also sees everything resting in Supreme. It is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Tatam Idam Sarvam Jagat Avyakta Murtina. Lord Krishna is spread all over the universe and in his impersonal feature. And then a highly advanced Mahabhagavat devotee sees in this spirit. He sees the same super soul, Paramatma, existing within everyone's heart, regardless of discrimination based on different material forms of earth. So this is the greatness. The Mahabhagavat who experiences Supreme Lord's presence everywhere is never missing from the sight of the Supreme Lord, nor is the Lord ever lost from his sight. This is possible only when one is advanced in love of God. What are his further glories? Atmanam Brahma Nirvanam. So he has attained this Brahma Nirvanam, the liberation. He is not attached to the material world, and his soul, he himself is liberated. And then he is a Pratyashtamita, ceased, separated. By expansion of his knowledge of Supreme Brahman, he had already attained Nirvana, Brahma Nirvana, liberation from the bondage of the body. This liberation is known as Nirvana. He was situated in transcendental bliss and he continued always in that blissful existence, which expanded more and more. This was possible for him by continual practice of Bhakti Yoga. And this analogy can help us understand, which is compared to fire because it burns away all dirt, all dirty material things. Bhakti Yoga, if one engages in devotion, what is happening is through this process, our heart is getting cleansed. Whatever anarthas, whatever malinas that we have in our heart, all these are burnt into ashes. He was always situated in his constitutional position of self-realization, and he could not see anything else but the Supreme Lord and himself engaged in discharging devotional service. And then in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is giving Brahmabhuta Prasannatmana Sochati Nakanshati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Labhate Param. So what is that one gets? One who is transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. In that state, he achieves pure devotional service unto me. If we have this as the goal, what should we do? Engage always. And this is also explained by Lord Chaitanya in his Shikshashtakam in the beginning of the first verse. Cheto darpana marjanam bhava maha davagni nirvapanam shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidya vadhu jivanam. So this is also is saying Cheto darpana marjanam, to cleanse the mirror of our heart, which is very dirty. When the mirror is dirty or dusty, we cannot see our face in front of the mirror. But when we clean it, then we can see. So what is that? This marjanam. How can we do that? By engaging ourselves in worship, devotion. By chanting the holy name, one can attain perfection of nirvana or liberation from material existence, and so increase one's blissful life of spiritual existence. Anandambudhi vardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. By engaging in Krishna Sankirtan, then what is happening? One is getting this Anandambudhi vardhanam, just not Anand, just not some moments of happiness. Anandambudhi, the ocean of happiness. Anandambudhi vardhanam, which is ever growing. Anandambudhi vardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam, which you can relish so nicely. And for doing that, what? We need to clean our heart. And what is the process? Krishna Sankirtanam, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. By engaging ourselves in the Sankirtan process, one can cleanse his heart, and by doing that, one can attain the perfection of life. This situation is called Viraktir Anyatra Syat. It is a result of devotional service. No longer one may have this interest in the material opulence or even a royal throne. So the bar is not coming down, we are raising to the bar. The more one makes advancement in devotional service, the more one becomes detached from material opulence and material activity. This is the spiritual nature, full of bliss. This is in Bhagavad Gita, Param Dashtva Nivartate. One ceases to take part in material enjoyment upon tasting superior bliss. What is this verse? I forgot. Param Dashtva Nivartate. Let me see. Yeah. Vishya vinay vartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya parandashva nivartate. So this, okay, let me also read the translation. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense and objects remain. Because though we are trying to control our nose, or control our eyes, ears, we closing everything and trying to remember the Lord, it's not possible. But ceasing such engagement by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. But if we are given a higher taste, we can automatically give up this lower taste. Like just imagine if one is living in a better facilities, then automatically he is not going to stay in facilities which are very, very difficult, slum or not favorable. So similarly, when we engage ourselves in proper devotion, automatically we will not going to entertain ourselves in lower problems like, okay, comparisons or what do we call this? All the challenges that we are facing in the material world in terms of competitive spirit or envious or anger and all these things, one will give up automatically if one engages in the process of devotional service. Okay, one ceases to read. By advancement in spiritual knowledge, which is considered to be like blazing fire, all material desires are burnt to ashes. So, and then the perfection of mystic yoga is possible when one is continuously in connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead by discharging devotional service. A devotee is always thinking of the Supreme Person at every step of his life, And that is the purpose of our life. Yeah. If we can remember the Lord every step, every conditioned soul is full of reactions of his past life. But how can one get freed? That is what Narada Pancharatri is saying. But all dirty things are immediately burned to ashes if one simply execute devotional service. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. So all this Vasudeva Parayana, when we become one with the Lord, I mean by understanding that the Lord is everything, and engaging in devotional service, then what is happened? Sarvopadi vinirmuktam. We are getting freed from all these other kind of identities, false identities. I am thinking that I am father, I am thinking that I am mother, I am thinking that I am son, I am daughter, I am manager, I am Indian. No, all these things will be cleared. And one becomes really positioned that I am just individual soul, a part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and my service is my duty is serving the Lord. That is what we get to understand. So in that way, these are the qualities of Utkala, and then that is the reason. So who became the king when Utkala didn't take it? Utkala appeared to be less intelligent person on the road to be foolish, blind, dumb, deaf, and mad. Because Utkala had this great intelligence that he understand what is what. He understood that this matter is only going to create us bondage, and then he showed no interest. Just like when we go to temple, if you tell anyone where are you, what are your weekend plans? I am going to temple. How is the reaction from the others? Yeah? If you have some crazy experiences, you can share some funny incidents. You see, again, is there no other thing to do? You again are going to a temple. After all, this is summer. Why don't you go out in the nature? You can go for a hike, trek, or not so healthy things. At least, yeah, there are some events that are happening around. There is this festival celebration, that dandiya, this Bollywood, so and so guy is coming. Yeah, that is socializing. Social life is the bliss. After all, we have this social networking uh, mm, setup, right? So we should really fully absorb in that, drink and drown in wine, and that's life. So for those people, how do they see us? Swapna, Mataji, how do they see us if we are saying I'm going to temple?
Um, people will see like we really don't know the essence of enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know really to enjoy the worldly desires.
Yeah. I think, I mean, you are saying very softly and politely, but yeah, here we see the people simply think that we are foolish, isn't it?
Got used to it, Guruji. That's why I'm telling
Yeah.
it very.
Yeah. But yeah, so they see that, hey, we are on the road to be foolish, blind, dumb, deaf, and mad. And actually, who is intelligent is a
But
devotee.
we feel vice versa that each and every minute and second is being wasted, being away from Bhagavan and Bhagavan Namam.
Yeah.
We
So that
feel.
is our, yeah, that is our. So now there are two groups, and one thinks the other as fool or mad. And if you see on the strength of Bhagavatam, we see that who is really a fool is the one who is not understanding what the Lord Himself is telling. See, if two people are foolish people, or if two people are claiming that others are foolish, who can solve the problem? Who is really intelligent, isn't it? And who is really intelligent is the Supreme Lord, because He is the one who created everything. He created the world, and He Himself. This is what is this? Daivi Esha Gudamai, Mama Maya Duratya. I have created this very mystical, illusory energy of this material world. So the Lord Himself is sharing what kind of world He has created and how illusory it can be. But who can get relieved? Maya Tetam Tarantite. So one who is taking shelter of me can be freed. So this means the Lord himself is saying that I created these two kind of things to confuse you guys. One is thinking the other as fool, but the reality is what? There is only one reality, that this is a world which is a place of real foolish people. Only devotees can turn to me, then they are intelligent, they have acquired the transcendental knowledge, and because of that knowledge, they are no more foolish. But others will continue to think as foolish because they do not have the knowledge.
But Krishna Bhaktas will never think the other people as foolish. They will just understand that they are yet to, understand the Lord Krishna.
Yeah. So here the examples given are about
actually obstructing to understand Krishna's creation.
Yeah, right. That is what. Here we see that two examples are given of how devotees deal, how bhaktas deal such situations. And this is also very nice for us to save ourselves to continue being a devotee. Otherwise, if 10 times, 20 times people come and say what you're doing is wrong, just like there was a brahmana who was carrying a cow or a calf on his shoulder, and everyone were telling it is a goat. And then after 5 times he heard, then he thought, oh, it is some goat, or someone said it's a ghost, and in that way he threw it down and ran away. So when more people around us say that we are doing wrong, sometimes because of influence of surroundings, we may also give up our own devotion. But how to handle situation is given very nicely here. Utkala, he remained like fire covered with ashes, without blazing flames. In today's world, we know that if what is this machine called? Lawn
mower, Prabhuji.
Lawn mower. Thanks. Yeah. So lawn mower, what does it do? It cuts the grass. Whatever grass is coming above the other grasses, that is chopped first, isn't it? Yeah. There is this blades that will just keep chopping, and the one who is coming above are chopped more. In order to avoid contradiction, botheration, and unfavorable situation created by materialistic people, there are two examples. One is Jadabharat and Utkala. They remain silent. If someone is saying that I know a lot, and we know that it's not in line with what the Lord is saying, then we know that they do not know a lot. But we don't just start saying, teaching them everything. Oh, no, you should know, really know. After all, you are given intelligence. After all, you are given that, you are given this facility. No, you should learn. No? He will bring 10 more people. And then you yourself are confused. Yeah, I think I read only little. 10 people are there. 10 people would have read more. They have more experience, and that and this, and then finally we ourselves will give up. So rather, we should be very sober. We should be very silent. The less intelligent considers such saintly person to be mad, deaf, or dumb. Factually, an advanced devotee avoids speaking with persons who are not in devotional life. What is this? In the nectar of instruction? What is this word? Asanga. Venimada Prabhu, do you remember?
No,
What
Prabhu.
are the six things we should give up? Association of non-devotees.
Yes, that is one.
Tyaga. What is this Tyaga? Yeah, so one of them is to give up association of non-devotees. But if you give up association of non-devotees straight away on their face, they will think, oh, these people are some fanatic people, these people are some odd people, let us trouble them more. Because either they want to help us, but they don't know that they are helping, actually they are causing disturbance, or they themselves want to prove their greatness. So in both ways, we are caught. So less intelligence considered like that. An advanced devotee is silent. He avoids speaking with persons who are not in devotional life, but only to those in devotional life he speaks in friendship and speaks to the innocent for their enlightenment. So this is how we should engage ourselves. Only if someone is innocent, only if someone is understanding that I am innocent. No, sorry. Only if one thinks the other person as innocent, that he is open to understand what we are telling, then only we speak about the Lord. For all practical purposes, the whole world is full of non-devotees, and So one kind of very advanced devotee is bhajananandis. What they do is they don't go to any places. They sit in a temple. We forget, hey, come on. As soon as I'm outside the temple, I know what kind of people are there. 99.99% of the people are so much busy enjoying their life in one way or the other. Either they go to the Lord also for their own materialistic desires. I want to be rich. I want to be knowledgeable. I want to be famous. I want to be that. I want to be this. Rather than that, why to be with them to get also same thoughts? Just like if someone has bought a new plasma TV, let me also buy a plasma TV bigger than that. If someone has a great car, let me also have a great car. If someone's kid is advanced with some great achievement, my kid also should achieve. So all these comparative things. No, a devotee, what he does, he is either taking bhajananandi. What is this bhajananandi means? Always he is absorbed inside his home. He has his own connection to the Supreme Lord in the form of his altar in the puja mandap, or he engages always reading Bhagavatam. He is absorbed in one of the 9 Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, or all the 9 ways of devotional service. In that way, he is Bhajananandi. Bhajan, and through that he attains spiritual bliss. So that is one path. And then they do not want to take risk, right? In that way, what they do, they prefer to be saved themselves by not exposing themselves to the public, where public are always trying to exploit our goodness. Our public is causing all disturbances. Then there is a second category, Goshtanandis. Goshtanandis are the one who are actively preaching to every person. They go out of their compassion that, oh, this person is not accepted the path of devotion. Let me tell him that if you do not do this rare opportunity of our life, what is it? Human form of life. Through that, whatever we can attain, we have this Brahma Jigyasa. With the Brahma Jigyasa, we can actually penetrate through these material coverings. So let me invoke that. So that's how people go to each and every person and ask, would you like to take this book? Would you like to come to the temple and hear to the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam classes? There are so many means through which one can get enlightened. So in that way, Goshtanandis are the devotees who are not just focused on maintaining a very nice home altar with all the vidhis, following Pancharatrik vidhi of worship. No, they go out into the public to help out people. And what is the easiest way is to perform Harinama Sankirtana. Because this sound vibration of the Lord's holy name is unimaginably, supremely potent that we can't even imagine. This, when it goes into the ears of even people who do not have never heard the holy name, they get blessed. Because they get this sukruti, they themselves will start showing interest. Oh, let me, hey, what are you guys doing? Why are you singing? What is this and all? And when they have this genuine innocence to know what it is, then this Goshtanandis, the devotees of the Lord, they preach the signs of Godhead. And when they have interest, they come to the temple. And when they see the temple, how the devotees engage in devotional service, in that way they attain perfection. So these are two. However, preach to increase the number of devotees. That is the goal. We don't want to say, okay, is it all evangelizing the people? Some might be Christians, some might be Muslims, some might be Jains, some might be Sikh. So many other sectarian or religious people. Are we going to go and convert? This is not Hinduism. Hinduism means we do our job perfectly. We don't really. No, Sanatana Dharma, Bhagavad Vidhi is saying that we go and approach everyone and enlighten that what is our true Dharma. Sanatana Dharma, which is an umbrella of all the right understanding of what everyone should do. There is no discrimination. If someone is following Christianity, we encourage them to follow Christianity, but perfectly. If someone is following Islam, we encourage them understand Islam properly and become a right Muslim. But by that way, we are not interested in converting someone, but actually we are interested in enlightening their devotion in whatever they can. If they appreciate Christianity, let them appreciate completely. And in that way, Goshtanandis are a kind of, postmen, where the Lord is giving the post and he is dispatching these messages to everyone. Okay, we are still in the verse number 10, but I think from, Matva Tam Jadam. By the way, I wanted to just the last line of this one. It says, but even such preachers, Goshtanandis, also avoid opposing elements who are unfavorably disposed towards spiritual life. This is important. It's not like, oh, now I want to go out and whatever may be there. If someone is ready with a rod to hit me, no, I still want to go. Such preachers also should be very careful when it is to deal with unfavorable people. No, I will go and establish there. When it's not possible, let's not try. For this reason, the ministers and all the elderly members of the family thought Utkala to be without intelligence and in fact mad. Thus his younger brother, Vatsara, the son of Brahmi, was elevated to the royal throne and he became king of the world. And here it's mentioned, I'll just summarize from now on a little faster. Here it says, monarchical rule is nice. In today's world, democracy has spoiled everything. In the monarchical time, if king was not there, then right. I mean, there is a what do we call? There is a committee who will select, not elect. They will select the right person to enthrone. In modern days also, wherever there is monarchy, sometimes the ministers and elderly members of the family select one member from the royal family to occupy the throne in preference to the other. This is what happens. And now from here, all it is given like whose son is who, whose daughter is who, and all this description is given. We'll go through that quickly. Verse number 12. Yeah, so King Vatsara had very dear wife, Swaraviti, and she gave 6 sons, Pushparna, Tigmaketu, Isha, Ujva, Vasu, and Jaya. And from Pushparna had 2 wives named Prabha and Dosha. Prabha had 3 sons named Pratar, Madhyandinam, and Sayam. See, you see, what is this? Prata, morning, Madhya, afternoon, Sayam. So they are the 3 sons. And Dosha had 3, Pradosha, Nishita, Vyushta. If you are familiar with astrology, you come across these. These are the muhurtas when you see, right? These, they come. Yeah. Vyushta's wife named Pushkarani, and she gave birth to a very powerful son, Sarvateja. Sarvateja's wife, Ahuti, gave birth to a son named Chakshusha. We know that Chakshusha Manvantar also is there. He became 6th Manu at the end of Manu millennium. And when we are saying here Manu millennium, it is Swayambhuva Manu. The wife of Chakshusha Manu gave birth to following faultless sons: Kuru, Pushta, Rita, Yumna, Satyavan, Rita, Vrata, Agnistoma, Atiratra, Pradyumna, Shibi, and Ulmukha. Of the 12 sons, Ulmukha begot 6 sons in his wife Pushkarini. They were all very good sons, and their names were Anga, Sumana, Khyati, Kratu, Angira, and Gaya. And now we talk about Anga. Anga, the wife of Anga, Suniti, gave birth to a son named Vena. And this is the pastime which we will be reading for next few weeks. Who was very crooked. The saintly king Anga was very disappointed, and Vena's bad character, he left the throne. So from here, let's go a little further details. Yeah, he left the home and kingdom and went out to the forest. There is also, I think, in the next verse explained. Is it approved to do that? And then what happened? When great sages curse, their words are as invincible as a thunderbolt. So we have to be very careful when we are dealing with great people, Brahmanas, Vaishnavas. We cannot take it easy. We cannot say, okay, I'm dealing with others like this, I can also deal with Vaishnavas or Brahmanas like that. No, we should be very careful. And when they curse, usually they don't, when they curse, it can become very, very dangerous. Thus, when they cursed King Vena out of anger, he died. After his death, now he is dead, and because when the king is not there, then everyone, there is no law and order. The law and order gets disturbed, and so that's why to to find or to enforce someone as a king, what the great sages they did is they churned, took the right hand after the dead body is there. They went, they collected the what do you call it, bones. They took the right hand of Vena as a churning rod, and as a result of their churning, I think they also churn the thighs. I think this we will discuss later. And Lord Vishnu appeared. Representation made his advent as King Prithu. So even if someone left something on the okay, this is here what we say is again further explanation. Monarchy rule is better than democracy. The example Prabhupada is giving here is even 100 years ago, the state in Kashmir, there is a king rule, and king used to punish severely if someone does something. As a result of the severe punishment, there were practically no theft cases within the kingdom. So, so thieves used to get scared, afraid, and they used to not commit any sin. So severe it is in the monarchical way of ruling. As a result, even if someone left something on the street, no one would touch it. The rule was that the things could be taken only by the proprietor and that no one else would touch them. I don't know. In India, forget about Kashmir. In India, we don't have this anywhere. I see. As soon as we see something, we take it, or even the people proactively, even if one is carefully carrying things, they snatch. Crime is more. Why? Because the example given is democracy. In democracy, what will happen? Wherever there is a theft case, the police come and take note of the case, but generally the thief is never caught, nor is any punishment offered to him. As a result of incapable government, at the present moment, thieves, rogues, and cheaters are very prominent all over the world. So Vidra is now explaining. Vidra, sorry, is asking, my dear Brahmana, King Anga was very gentle by character. He had high character and was a saintly personality and lover of Brahminical culture. If one is like that, how come he killed? How is it that such a great soul got a bad son like Vena, because of whom he became indifferent to his kingdom and left it? So he was killed. Vena is killed, right? But what is the reason? Because he had bad qualities. And now, surprising, how could he have bad qualities when his father is nice? In family life, a man is supposed to live happily with father, mother, wife, and child. But I think this is the verse which tells about enemy. Chanakya Pandit says that a father is an enemy to his family or to his son actually when he is too much in debt. Why? What the father is giving to his son is only debt, for which who is the enjoyer? Enjoyed by father, but actually suffered by clearing it by the son. And mother, a mother is an enemy if she marries for a second time, because she is not able to take care of a son wholeheartedly, or not wholeheartedly, completely. A wife is an enemy when she is very beautiful. This is very, very important, that she invites problems, and these problems are onto the husband. Just like if some very attractive girl is walking on the street, then everyone is seeing her and getting attracted, and because of seduction, seduction, forgot what is the word. Seducing, I know this. Because of that, what is happening is that all the time the guy has to be always vigilant to protect her, to save her. So when she is very beautiful, sorry, a wife is an enemy when she is very beautiful, and a son is an enemy when he is a foolish rascal. So if a child is not good, then it's like he's an enemy to his father. In this way, when a family member becomes an enemy, it is very difficult to live in family life or remain a householder. Generally, such situations occur in the material world. Therefore, according to Vedic culture, one has to take leave of his family life just after his 50th year, so that the balance of his life may be completely devoted in search of Krishna consciousness. If we kind of absorb, if we provide them the cushion, no, let them get all the facility, let me provide them, they will never change. They will never take up to Krishna consciousness. Rather, we should expose them to the reality of the world as it is, and they get realization far quickly, rather than we protect. So this is what, anyway, it says after 50. Vanam Rajet, so one has to leave to the forest, or actually Vrindavan. This is what Prahlad Maharaj is saying. Kim Vaho Vena Uddisya. What was that? Brahma Dandam Ayuyujam Dandavrata Dhare Rajni Munayo Dharma Povida. So he's asking, how is that? Great sages. Okay, I can understand, king. Now sages are what? Who are sages? They are Brahmanas. And when Brahmanas, what is their quality? To forgive. Okay. Not only that, not to be agitated. Not only that, to be uh, self-controlled. Who were completely conversant with religious principles, desired to curse King Vena. Curse a Brahmana. How uh, how can he become angry and curse someone who himself carried the rod of punishment? King, and also cursing whom? Cursing a king. Usually we know the king is the representative of the Lord. Is that here coming? Yeah, that will come later. So king is a representative of the Lord, and how can one curse the king? And the two Brahmanas who are intelligent, who know what is right, what is wrong, how could they curse? And thus awarded him the greatest punishment. What is that? Brahmashapa, curse. And it is understood that the king is able to give punishment to everyone, but in this case it appears that the great sages punished him. The king must have done something very serious. Otherwise, how could the great sages, who were supposed to be the greatest and most tolerant, Titiksha Karunika, both are lost, still punished him in spite of their elevated religious consciousness? It appears also that the king was not independent of Brahmanical culture. Above the king was control of the Brahmanas. This is what is we can understand from this verse, that above the king was the control of Brahmanas, and if needed, the Brahmanas would dethrone the king or kill him, not with any weapon, but with the mantra of Brahmashap. The Brahmanas were so powerful that simply by their cursing, one would immediately die. So that is the power. So when we say about Brahmanas, should they take the sword and all these things? Yeah, why do they need when they have such a Vak Shuddhi, when they have such power, mantras, everything in their hand. But important point here is, when someone is causing inconvenience and injustice, adharma, especially the king, it is the duty of the ministers to correct the king, because it is said that ministers are the eyes of the king. So that is the reason there are these counselors who are always counseling the king what is right, what is wrong. It's not that they may not do it, but they need this extra pair of conscious guidance from the Brahmanas. Raja Guru, who is the other one? Raja Guru is King's Guru. There is others who are also part of the assembly. So, and then here in this verse, king disregarded by the citizens. Here we say, It is the duty of all citizens in a state never to insult the king, even though he may sometimes appear to have done something very sinful. Because of his prowess, the king is always more influential than other ruling chiefs. So here we see that Vidura is asking Maitreya Rishi, how is it that Vena being a king, how can he be punished? Even if he would have done something wrong, even all the citizens should respect him. Why? Because here it said, king is representative of the Lord, and he's also called Naranarayana. Is the Lord, and it is etiquette that neither a Brahmana nor a Kshatriya king is never insulted by the citizens, even though a king appears to be sinful. The citizens should not insult him. But in the case of Vena, it appears that he was cursed by Naradevatas. Therefore, it was concluded that his sinful activities were very grievous. And now the last, I think you read 24, right? Please explain. And Vidura is quite keen to understand, because by knowing what we should not do, at least we are saving not committing bad. So Vidura is asking, my dear Brahmana, you are well conversant with all subjects, both past and future. Therefore, I wish to hear from you all the activities of King Vena. I am your faithful, and this is important, I am your faithful devotee. So please explain this. And Prabhupada is saying, Vidura accepted Maitreya as his spiritual master. And a disciple always inquires from spiritual master. A guru is very, very important in one's life. I think we come across this theme quite often. Why? Because the disciple always inquires from the spiritual master, and the spiritual master answers the question, provided the disciple is very gentle and devoted. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said that by the mercy of spiritual master, one is blessed with mercy of the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master is not inclined to disclose all the secrets. There is a lot to say. Yeah, when we come across in Christianity, Jesus Christ, he said there is a lot to tell, but I mean, I need to get the right words. But I have said only this much. There is a lot to tell, but I have said only this much. Why? Because one also need to have the qualities, consciousness to really understand the big picture. To the level of surrenderness of a disciple, only to that level the spiritual master is going to enlighten. The spiritual master, yeah, one is blessed with mercy of the Supreme. The spiritual master is not inclined to disclose all the secrets of transcendental science unless the disciple is very submissive and devoted. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the process of receiving knowledge from spiritual master entails submission, inquiry, and service. What is this verse? Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. The first line is saying, accept, shall approach spirit. No, one second. I'm getting the right verse. Yeah, just try to learn. Yeah, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. We don't want to create our own flavors of instructions. Very simple. Just like if a child would like to know who is his father, he will just go and ask his mother, not everyone around, or not going through this biological scrutiny. No, simple process is approach. Vedas are our mother, and who is the father? The Supreme Lord, and the spiritual master. So what is he doing? He is impregnating. Yeah, that's the reason we called as Dvija. Dvija means taking second birth. When this Upanayana Sanskar is happening, what is happening? The child is given second birth. From there onwards, mother and father are not the parents. Who is the parents? It is the Vedas, the mother, and spiritual master is the father. So from there on, that's why, I don't know if we have seen, they say, hey, from now on, the child after the Upanayana Sanskar, he should have his own bed, he should have his own plate. No. So many things are there. Why? Because he has new parents. The Vedic scriptures, Vedas, and spiritual master as the father. So whatever the spiritual master says, that is the ultimatum. That is the topmost. So as stated in Bhagavad Gita, so that this, and let me continue. And this, after that, inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. So what is the purpose of spiritual master is not that, okay, by accepting someone as guru, then okay, whenever I have a problem, I will go to him and ask for blessings. What is the purpose of these blessings? Is to get this consciousness that I want to serve. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls, this guru, can impart knowledge unto you, I mean him, because they have seen the truth. Because these gurus, they are not ordinary, because they look also like, okay, they may be doing some job, or they may be doing, they also have hands and legs, they also have problems, they have old age, they have disease, and all these appears to be like they are common, normal, but they are not normal. They are spiritual beings, but not just spiritual beings. Even we are spiritual beings, but they are enlightened. They have seen the truth. They have self-realized, and they can impart that to us, and through that we can attain success. So this is what we will conclude here. Thank you very much. So yeah, are there anything anyone would like to add or any questions? By the way, how did you find Swapna Mataji, this Bhagavad? This is what we do every Saturday morning.
Yes, really felt blessed, Prabhuji. Really felt blessed today attending the session.
Anything particular you would like to share or tell regarding what we discussed today?
One point I would like to ask. Have you said we should be away from the people who are not devoted? The people who don't have devotional values.
Okay.
And in this samsaram, we cannot be away, but we need to handle. So, say daughter, son, mother-in-law, father-in-law, husband. We need to handle them. So, how do we handle?
Okay. Yeah, the Lord. Yeah, go on.
Like maybe in the family only they are not so devotional. They don't understand the sense of being very close to God and be away from worldly desires. So how do we handle?
Okay. Yeah, so how to handle non-devotees who are very, very in our close circle or obligations, social obligations, how to, that is the question.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's very tough. Yeah, if I don't know someone, to not be with him is a free choice, easy choice to make. Then no problem. He will not be offended. I'll not be offended. We can stay like that. But when it comes to close friends, for example, the friends have their own path and we have our own path, and they not appreciate us and we cannot appreciate their way because we have taken a different path. Can we really say them something? Will they not feel offended? Yeah, right. So, or even more tricky or more challenging is one who are our blood relation or one who are in a very close family setup. What to do with that situations? So what we should do is that I can give a nice esoteric example. Yeah. And if we can keep this in our mind, I think we can cross these situations with that strength. We know that if someone, if there is a lady who has a lover, yeah,
Yes.
Then she is always remembering her beloved all the time, but she is already married to someone, but she has already loved someone. I think this could be a typical example that we see also in this world, right? Regularly, some situations, some movies are already showing. How do we see is that this lady, for a matter of fact, even a man might, he's still always remembering her, or he is remembering her. This is always there. Is someone able to stop it?
No.
No. And now the society, because she or he is married to some other partner, right? What is happening? So if she is, as long as doing or showing that she is faithfully uh, serving, then will there be any problem if she in secret can still meet her beloved?
No.
No, right? No one in society is going to find it, and no one is going to punish because they don't find. For normal world, she looks very normal or he looks very normal, but because she has great love for the other person so much, she is finding still ways of how he or she can always be with that person.
Correct.
And from this example, what we can see is we should be very smart, or we should be very diplomatic how we engage ourselves with the people around us. It's not like, okay, we are ignoring or neglecting or forgetting or forgiving our path, because we have developed love for the Lord.
Correct.
If this love is very, very serious, we will find ways of how to still connect to the person or connect to the Lord. But if you already are saying, I will leave my or renounce my husband, or I will renounce my wife, and immediately will the society allow us to settle? No, right?
No.
So what it will do, it will try to say that no, what you're doing is wrong, what you're thinking is wrong. See, out of 100 people, 99 people are doing like this, or even they say that 100 people are doing like this. You doing this is not right. So then there's so much of opposition, oppression, and that they want to impose on us. And finally, what they'll do? Now I know that as soon as night breaks, what you're doing, you're running to your lover, which is illicit, which is illegal, which is unauthorized. Let me put more protection. Let me put more watchmen. Let me put more security guards so that I will stop all these things to happen. Now, which is dangerous? So we have to understand that with whom, how to keep them in their own world, that they don't come and start causing more inconvenience to what we are doing. Already we are struggling. Already there is a lot of struggle going on. Do we want to increase the struggle further? So now this is very nice theory. Now in a practical terms, what does this mean is, yes, we see, at least we don't want to become carried away by their negativity around us. Of course, we first try to understand what is the genuinity of what they are telling is right or wrong. We don't want to discard everything. We don't want to accept everything. We want to see through the lines or through the eyes of Shastra. Yeah. Sometimes when we are preoccupied, right, whatever they say, we think it's wrong. Sometimes when we are preoccupied, whatever they say correct, we think it's incorrect, right? So rather quickly saying, oh, this, come on again, rather for that situation, we'll see what is good we can still gain from it. If we can get something good of it, yeah, why not? After all, this is all what we want, right? Some advice which can help us. Just like in the case of Dhritarashtra, Yudhishthir Maharaj said that, I have learnt a lot from you. And we know Dhritarashtra had Kauravas. Dhritarashtra only was the cause of the war. All we know. And Yudhishthir, Dharmaraj, what is he saying? After everything is over, when he came back, he said, I learnt a lot from you. What did he learn? He learned how one should not be.
Correct.
So when we are in people who are around, and then the paths are different, thoughts are different, and first we should understand from a devotional point of view that what are they telling in the mode of goodness or passion or even ignorance? And within that, everyone is being kind of fluctuating every now and then. We have to see what is the best we can get from that, and diplomatically take part or not take part. But always we have to remember our lover is Krishna. Krishna is my lover. I'm not going to forget that. And at the same time, just to attain him, just to engage in devotion, I will do everything, even if it is doing this secretly. Secret business is also fine. So we are not exposing ourselves to these challenges, like we saw like Jada Bharat or Utkala. He didn't. Why? Because he understand all this is very disturbing. If at this moment we are not able to face them, or at this moment they are not able to understand us, better to keep a low profile. Low profile means not that I am not going to talk with you for the rest of my life. Low profile means still talking. I'm fine with what your opinions are. Yeah. What can I do? Yeah. You have your own individuality. I have my own. You do your business. I do my business. Only when things are common ground, let us be in contact. Yeah. This is what I meant diplomacy.
Correct. Correct, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
So this is not my own story, but this is actually what has happened also. This is also what is the instruction given 500 years back by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he said, hey, when was it Rupa Goswami or Sanatana? Who relieved first? I think Rupa Goswami. He said that, I am burning in separation from serving you, Lord. Please call me back at your feet. I want to engage always in your service. Then the Lord said, and of course, I'm mixing two stories. One story is Raghunath Das Goswami, and the other one is Jiva Goswami. And in both, it is the same. That no, you go and still continue working under at that time it was Muslim rulers 500 years back in West Bengal. And he said, no, be there. When the time comes, I will call you. Then you come and engage in devotion. Until then, yeah, he was still working. He was still working in a very nice, prestigious role as a minister of the king. So the Lord said, don't give up. You do. And in the case of Raghunath Das Goswami, he said, when he said, my father, he doesn't allow me to come to you. He doesn't appreciate devotion. He is a what do you call Mujamdar. He is a Jamindar of his province. Now just imagine how important it is that his son becomes the next heir to take over that role. But this son, Raghunath Das Goswami, has become a devotee. He is not interested in all this cheating business, not this ruling and punishing and all these things. He was interested always only in remembering the Lord and serving him, worshipping him. That is the only thing he wanted. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, don't come. He gave them this example. Just like a lady is always thinking of her paramour, yeah, not husband but lover, and always eager to meet secretly. Similarly, to the world appear like you are a normal person, that you have a house, and all these things. But inside, I mean, not that everyone notices, you practice bhakti with full intensity. When the time comes, it will come up, just like a fire. How long can this, when the fire is increasing, how long can this be covered by a cloth? Not so long, right? When this comes out, but this fire is so strong that even if someone is coming to put water, no problem. Their water is less than the fire that we have built in our bhakti. I don't know if this answered your question.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mhm.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And sorry, yeah, first lesson itself I'm telling about diplomacy, but that's very important.
No, that is only important in today's life, Prabhuji.
No, we see that when we come on the path of religion, dharma, we should be very, very truthful. We should be very, very, yeah, we should be truthful, but diplomatically truthful.
Yes. Being in bhakti, innocence comes first. This diplomacy takes a back seat where we struggle a lot.
Yes.
in
We
such
think
ways.
in the mode of goodness, we should not play diplomacy. This is our understanding. No, but
Correct.
that's not right. When we go to our next level, for the Lord, even if we say lie, that's okay. After all, Lord is saying, you give up everything, come to me. And for that matter, when we are speaking lie, so that we can get closer to the Lord, that's okay. Lord will take care of it.
Correct.
Another lesson. Sorry. Anyone else want to add something or have any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have one thought or one question. So, so there was one one line in yesterday's
Prabhupada's Leelamrita.
Leelamrita too, where there was a question by the interviewer where he was trying to provoke Prabhupada about Christianity, and he didn't kind of anyways answer what is wrong there, but he just focused on what is right with Krishna consciousness. And I think today is something similar. You mentioned about other religion, Prabhuji. So for me, the clarity is like, do we also accept? So obviously, all of us will coexist. But how do we handle things when we also meet people of other religion? Do we preach that Krishna is the ultimatum? Obviously, not directly, but do we need to?
Yeah. Are you saying how do we see
How do we see
others
this?
along with us?
Correct, exactly. Do we hold
So
that?
at least we don't see them as competitors, because they are spreading God, we are spreading God. Maybe the understanding need to be refined, so they will accrue similar disciples or devotees. We will accrue similar disciples or devotees based on the level of understanding, based on the level of knowledge, based on the level of the consciousness. Accordingly, they will all these things coexist. There is no problem. What we want is that everyone is appreciating the supremacy of what they are doing, and what will happen, because their faith is invested in that, they will only attain that. That's okay. When the forum comes, when people are innocent, when the forum comes, when people are inquiring us, hey, how come that you are more blissful than me? Yeah, then we say, okay, this is our way. What we do, we follow 4 regulative principles. And if others are not following 4 regulative principles, it's not that we are denying them, oh, you will not go to God at all. Yeah, when they are not following 4 regulative principles, they will attain some other level of that. Yeah, maybe they are going through this confession board, confessing, and very mercifully Jesus Christ will save them, and how long? Up to them. We are not. So usually what we see, that this is what exactly happens when Christianity is converting, evangelizing so much. Why? Because they think that that is the only way.
Right,
and in that way, everyone thinks that mine is the only way. We see that ours is the way which we want to just lead. Of course, not jeopardizing the supremacy or the prominence of the path that we are taking. When the truth is anyway truth, there is a highway, there is a what do we call this, bypass? Can we say the bypass road is also a highway? No. Right?
Right.
So when it comes to the clarity, we should have that clarity. Yeah. But when a person can appreciate, then only we share that clarity. If the person doesn't, it's better for him to, okay, bypass. Yeah, carry on, go in that way. What is the speed? Bypass 50 kilometers per hour. What is the highway speed? 100 kilometers per hour.
Yes,
Right?
Prabhuji. This analogy is beautiful, Prabhuji. Yeah. Yeah. Though
So
the
in that way, we should, yeah, the distinction is there. It's not like we are saying everything is one. That itself is a big problem. Either we say all are equal just to avoid conflict, avoid or to have peace. We say everyone is equal, all are equal, everything is only one. No, our eyes do the job of eyes, our mouth will do the job of mouth. How can we say both are same? From a role, of course, it is a means of communication or whatever. The purpose is to serve the soul. But the way that they are doing is what? Different. So everyone wants to serve the Lord, but the way they are doing is different.
Yes, Prabhuji, I think beautifully put. And Prabhuji, the next thing is like in one of the purport, right? Prabhupada said men are enemy when they get onto debt, which is very
Father.
true. A father,
Father.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I truly, agree to that. Also, being much into this finance thing, and but something that I don't know. I shouldn't say unacceptable or something is doubtful is like they say mothers are enemy when they get remarried, and women are enemy when they are attracted or something. So, I don't know why. If this is I don't know right aspect because
so if we talk about women. Or wife is enemy to husband. Is that not clear?
Yes,
If wife
Prabhu.
is beautiful.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
wife is beautiful, she is inviting more trouble.
Exactly. Yeah. So that
Of course,
depends on the
in today's world. Yeah.
Sorry.
Of course, in today's world, everyone wants a beautiful wife. Yeah. But what is the beauty? We are talking this is an external beauty topic, not internal beauty. When someone has internal beauty, they will maintain low profile. And when someone is maintaining low profile, just we were discussing all this, right? Even for Swabna Mataji's question, if we maintain low profile, there is no problem. In society, where 99% of the people want to chastise, to comment on religion, to maintain low profile is right. Similarly, when a wife she is maintaining a low profile, it is good. Why should one have to go and show off? For that matter, not only wife, even husband. Why should he has to go and show off? Because even the marriage, marital life is screwed up. Either of them shows off, right? Yeah, if they maintain, yeah, because of this exposing oneself to the other sex and who are not showing properly, that can lead to disturbances and it could create problems. This is clear, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. I think
and what is happening out of this is in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, Arjuna is saying, not even Krishna, what Arjuna is also saying on the strength of Vedas, he's saying Varna Shankara Karana. What is happening? Varna Shankara. What does that mean? When the women are not protected, what is happening? There are 4 problems. Of that, one is the progeny is not correct progeny. And that is the enemy. That is the problem. And when what was that? Mother second is that not clear? When mother remarries.
Yeah, mother gets remarried. Yeah, I think the reason, like for what I understood from what you just explained, Prabhuji, is like our dharma does not say women should wear hijab, but I think when you say don't expose beauty, it's a different perspective you're talking about. So I think I got that, Prabhuji. Yeah. I think it's camouflaged in a nice way, but I understood, Prabhuji.
Correct. Not to entice others.
Yeah, I got your point, Prabhuji. Yes. So that was, in Islam, it's on the complete thing, right? They kind of totally
cover the head.
But exactly. I think that is not what Prabhupada and you are referring to, sir. That is understood. And probably the similar thing is for
No, basically it's very simple. I mean, it's not like holding their freedom, not kind of put them under a black cloth or no. It is more about they can actively be part of the society Only thing is that, okay, to be careful, especially in exposing themselves to, just like, what is that, the analogy that's used, Chanakya Pandit, or the women are butter and men are fire, or the other way. I think the other way. The men, yeah, the men are butter and women are fire. It doesn't matter what is what. If they both come together, what will happen? The butter cease to exist. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. I think the context is now clear, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
And now coming to the mother, yeah, why it's an enemy? Because a stepmother, how much can she take care of her stepson? Or is it that? No, the other. How much, if a mother is remarrying, what does that mean? Can she give her love 100% to her son? On a hypothetical, they say, or we say, yeah, it's possible. But in reality, no, she has to share her love between her other kids, right? The stepbrothers or stepsisters will also have to share. So that's why it's called enemy. It could lead to negligence, ignorance, ignoring. Not ignoring. That's why it's not right.
Yes, Prabhuji. I think, yeah. Thanks for the deep dive into the context, Prabhuji. Thank you.
And someone has, okay, someone leaving. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
Nothing. Maybe can we have Swapna Mataji's number so that we will be in
I think
like.
Ratikali Mataji has.
Okay. Okay.
She comes from Bonn.
Okay. That's good. Good.
Okay. No questions, then we will meet tomorrow and discuss the knowledge. We are talking already in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, systematic study of Vedic scriptures. There also what we do is read Bhagavad Gita verse by verse and then try to understand how to relate it to us. And as Swapnamata, you were asking these questions, those questions also come, and how Krishna nicely answers these while he is, Arjuna is full of questions in this context, and how the Lord is answering all these. So we can refer to those answers, and on the strength of that authority, we want to live a life. It's not like, okay, oh, did I understand correctly? What I'm doing is correct or not? No, we can have a firm foundation based on the teachings of Lord in the form of Bhagavad Gita, and then advance in devotion very rapidly. Yeah. So, okay then. Thank you so much for joining. Vanchakalpatarabhyascha kripa sindhubhyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantha Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Okay.